So crossing steps. We have a cross in front and we have a cross in back, and there's two ways to do that. We have a stable way of doing that and an agile way of doing that. If you cross in front, like as a follower, if you're walking to the cross and you feel that your leader is pausing you there, you want to have the toes together, heels apart, and the heels will be close to the floor. Now, you want to hide one knee. So it's not just crossing the feet. You want to make sure that you're crossing the entire leg. So in this case, I'm hiding my right knee. The same if I were to cross on the other side, which is less common but does happen. I want to make sure that my toes are together, heels apart. In this case, I'm hiding the right knee. Still with the knees unlocked and the weight, right, changing onto the foot that just came in. If I'm crossing in a more agile way, like if my leader is double timing me as a follower into the cross, then the heel is going to stay off the floor. I'll show you like this. So the toes are still together, the heel is off the floor, and the knee is bent. That gives you the ability to move in and out of the cross quicker than if you were to drop the left heel, right? So quick, quick, slow, taking the step from this position, again, rather than from this position. And the same on the other side here. In this case, I wouldn't drop my right heel, right? Quick, quick, slow in order to do something quick. Right? Now for crossing behind, which sometimes happens if you're in an ocho with no pivots, as a follower, you want to make sure that as you're crossing behind the standing leg, in this case my left leg, when I do cross behind, I want to make space for the other leg by doing that same movement of lifting my heel and bending my knee in order to create the space for me to cross underneath myself. Right? If I don't bend the knee and lift my heel, it's going to be hard to make that happen. Also, when you exit, you just want to make sure that your knee doesn't come straight forward and kick your leader. So it's always going to be turned out a little bit rather than turning in. It's going to be turned out. And then lifting your heel enough so that you can exit by clearing your own foot. Sometimes what happens is that as a follower, your high heel will scrape over the arch of your standing foot. So in order to avoid that from happening, you really want to lift the heel in order to exit again, lifting the heel. So if we just show you a few, right, we have the quick way of crossing. Right? And we have the slower way of crossing, that is dropping the heel to get that more stable position, right? And if she's crossing behind, right, in the case of an ocho with no pivot, you see how she's articulating the feet and the legs in order to create that space for her to pivot under herself.